real cup. Good morning from the shell. Super fast.
Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Good friends and trends that bend the senses. Let's get a bit senseless. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we bring good vibes and good times. Welcome to the morning coffee show with super fast tortoise. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we have the flow. Good vibes from head to toe.
Hey, hey! Come everybody, welcome to the show with the flow. We know we got to go on to the topic and everything, but no, we got Backwoods Collector here today. Whoop, whoop. So glad he's here. And don't think we forgot you. Your command still works. So whenever you're in chat, you can be like, ! Backwoods, and your channel link will pop up.
To tell you the truth, half the time I forget what the command is.
That's funny.
You'd see me doing a bunch of like tries without it kicking in.
That's funny. There you go. It should be that. That's if it's actually working. Yesterday, I tried to put it in commands. It didn't work, and that's because it logged me all out of Nightbot. I'm like, what? Like I had to ask for permissions on YouTube. I was like, what's going on?
Because I think my command here, I think I have a command on Hillbilly's channel too, and I think they're different, so I don't know which one's which half the time.
Yeah, they are different.
They are different, that's for sure. Huh.
You even have a command on my channel.
Oh, I didn't know I had one on yours.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I never go. I'm never live, but you have a command there.
Don't look like it's working.
Well, it only works on my channel when I'm live. I don't know about yours. I just never go live.
All right. There we go. Here we go. Let me try that again. Well, Hillbilly did it, so trying to figure this all out because, like, I don't know what happened with an update or whatever, but Nightbot completely separated from the channel, so I had to go in there, integrate it. Probably still have to give permissions. It says I joined the channel, and it's telling me all the interactions I had yesterday. We know we had 407 interactions yesterday on our show. That was crazy.
I think it wants a divorce from you super fast.
Jeez. It's crazy. We'll have to figure that out.
Yay, 2 Christmases!
2 Christmases. I don't know what you're thinking. So, oh man, can't really get into the conversation we're having in backstage. That's a little more private, but it was an interesting conversation we're having. Going forward, the logistics of ideas of the show and the formats that I run that we're talking about. I've actually been wondering if I need to re-envision. Oh, look, Nightbot's finally working. Woo woo. But anyways, I was wondering if people are enjoying the format of the show that I have, because I feel like I need to go back and update the segments now. Because not to toot my own horn, but that opening intro is pretty badass, and I don't know if I need to match it or if we're doing okay. Because people seem to enjoy the show. You guys are quiet.
I enjoy the show. I mean, a lot of other people enjoy the show. I do know that we get a lot of people in chat coming in, and special from Cane Shaker down to like I don't know, you right there, and you right there, and you right there. So
yeah, because part of my problem being bipolar is I always feel like I have to change something. You know what I'm saying? I always feel like I have to do something different. And the truth is I don't, because I know a good thing about a show is familiarity and structure. And that's why I have a hard time not changing it, trying to change it. But we always want to improve. You know, because we all do amazing things, and we all come up with amazing ideas. You know, DeLawson. I don't know. That is the perfect thing to tell me. You just wish you could watch more. That's right. Oh, let's see if that works now. But so far, so la, de la. I don't know the song anymore. There we go. Backwoods. There's your command. It's exclamation point backwards.
I'll have to take note of that. Write it down.
Yeah, well, especially on the show. Like I know, because your job you can't be as regular as on the show. But like one thing I've been doing is like people who are more regular on the show, I've been putting their links in the description too. So if people are reading the description, trying to find your channel, it's in the description right there. It's awesome because like I try to support everybody as much as possible. In fact, we have a person who's show, but he's been more regular on the Commander Nights is our friend Hero Wave. And then in the mornings I put up, well, not in the mornings, but in the games I put his link in the description below so people can find him on Twitch. Because apparently a lot of spell table players are playing on Twitch. But thinking of playing games and playing games with my heart, we have the ball.
Hi there. I just popped in for a second so you guys wouldn't forget what I look like.
Is that you, Tybalt?
Yes. How's it going?
You sure look younger.
It's without the lab coat. The lab coat's hanging back there for now, so
yeah,
makes me look younger and less studious that way.
Trying to get Tybalt on here. He said he can't stay the whole show probably.
Man, I can't even stay hardly more than probably 10 or 15 minutes. I am sorry for that. I appreciate the invitation though.
We watch it. We have good topic specifically spiced up for the Tybalt.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, right. And that's what I want to get to is the questions people have about Magic deck building. I even have memes. I even have a meme specifically tailored towards you today.
Uh-oh.
That's funny. Well, I didn't know if you were going to be able to jump on or not. I still made it. I used your question of the day yesterday.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that was fun.
I forgot to give my answer even. What the heck?
That's funny. Yeah, you didn't give an answer yesterday. You could have added the answer in your question of the day.
Yeah.
You could have been like, I live on Innistrad where all the zombies come up and the scientists experiment on cadavers.
Yep. For sure. Anyway. I enjoyed the other answers that you got though, for sure.
Right. This is kind of hard. It's kind of hard to come up with a solid answer because there's a couple planes you'd love to live on or be part of.
Well, I liked Hillbilly's idea of Kaladesh and stuff. That maybe seems like one of the more mild ones.
Right.
But who was it? It was dude said Phyrexia. He wanted to be in Phyrexia to be assimilated. Or rather, I guess he was going to be assimilating everybody else.
Right. Assimilated.
Yeah. When I was watching the show, I was thinking Innistrad too, but I almost had the same thought. I think it was you, Superfast, had said it's like, I don't know if Innistrad's really a plane you want to be on.
Right. It's not a plane you really want to be on, but it's a plane you'd love to visit just for the sheer excitement of trying to survive.
I guess I was looking at it as the fact that, I've got 2 chances on that plane. Actually, maybe even 3, because, you can either live on there, you could die on there and still live, or you could die and be a ghost. So, there's plenty of options.
Right. Oh, yes, no doubt.
Well, I was just thinking it'd be kind of neat to meet Gisa, but then it's like, there again, it's probably somebody you don't want to meet.
For sure.
Yeah, there is the thought process of, do I want to meet the thing that will ultimately have me beheaded? Coming from the guy who's a head in a jar.
Right. Well, you already fit in Innistrad. You could fit in a scientist lab and be hidden hidden there for years. No one noticed. You'd be part of the infrastructure, so you just be sitting forever on a shelf while people are experimenting cadabras, and maybe one day you'll be the head of Frankenstein. You know?
I have no clue what the Apprentice of Tybalt has for me.
No idea. We're still working on that. We'll have to come up with something good.
Right. DeLawson says he would live on Bloomberg because there's plenty of food. That's funny. All right.
Hey, dude.
All right. So I didn't have a question of the day. I didn't have a question of the day formulated today, but we do have the next segment going on. So let's get to the bumper.
You are watching Super Fast Tortoise.
Put up a fight, gonna leave them all in fright. Playing Magic the Gathering on a Saturday night. So many creatures, casting spells with all his might. Sipping on more coffee to stay awake and bright.
Whoa! Look at that. We are on the next segment of the day, and poor Hillbilly, his voice is just tormenting him as he's getting better, as he's not healing up, better from his cold. Well, so we're just going to jump into the card of the day.
Card of the day. Combo Breaker.
Woo! Speaking of card of the day, we got Corrupted Conscience, one of my favorite little win cons in one of my decks. This card is not as scary as it used to be back in the day, but still, it's something to worry about. This uncommon costs 3 generic, 2 blue. It's an aura that says enchanted creature. You control enchanted creature. An enchanted creature has impact. Oh yeah. And man, this like in the deck I run this in. Well, I run this in a couple decks, but in one of the decks I run this in, I don't even steal my opponent's creature. I build up a creature like Voltron style. And get him to get that creature till its power is 10 or more, and just throw Corrupted Conscience on it to give it infect, and usually it has flying or unblockability by the time this is on there. So it's insane.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was going to say, with so many things putting on auras for free these days, that 5 mana cost isn't as scary and big as it used to be.
Right. Oh yeah. It's not as scary as it used to be, but it's when it turns a creature into a one-hit wonder, you definitely want to watch out.
Definitely.
Watch out. But now we are going to the pictures of the day, because I made some pictures of the day. Hillbillies sharing and caring with dictative Erebos. Don't kill my stuff.
Nice.
If anything I ever hear from Hillbillies, quit killing my stuff.
Nice.
Like I tried making a hillbilly picture look as less handsome as a person as possible, but they kept giving me like handsome looking supermodel hillbillies. I don't know why. I got stuck with this one because I had a bob.
For some reason, this is putting off Jeff Bridges.
Okay, Jeff Bridges.
If
I
Jeff
was gonna say
Bridges
Grizzly
was,
Adams.
okay, well, I was thinking if Jeff Bridges was playing Hillbilly, playing Grizzly Adams.
There you go.
There we
Perfect.
go. But yeah, this has that Jeff Bridges look to him.
It does a little, but it reminds me of Bob Ross too. Like they're going to paint your happy tree here.
I went more Grizzly Adams.
Grizzly Adams. That's right. Well,
now you got to just redo this whole picture with the Bob Ross at fro because you ruined it for me without seeing that. We're not going to continue the show until you redo the meme with Bob Ross.
right. Oh yeah, get that fro in there. Oh, it's AI generated, so maybe he did get a little bit of Jeff Bridges, Bob Ross, and Grizzly Adams.
That's true. And it's an amalgam for sure.
That's right. Now the next picture of the day. This one, I thought it's about particularly.
Yeah. That's me adding coffee to my sugar.
That's funny. When the deck builder adds too much salt to their MTG deck and plays fair magic.
Yeah.
And you know what's, and if you pay attention, I put cards on the board. You got a Dictative Erebos, and when your creatures die, your opponent's sack creature. You got Wrath of God, so you can blow up the board. You got Counterspell, and just because you're evil, obliterate.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that what the red one is?
Yeah. One destroys
Obliterate, yeah.
all lands, artifacts, and
Oh,
creatures.
yeah. Where do I get those?
That's from 9th
I
edition,
better
I
check
believe.
my store.
That's right. Check your store. His link is if you do have one in your store.
Sorry, I
You
didn't mean
want-
to plug myself. I was just thinking, like, where can I find one quickly?
Well, this is a card I need to get a copy of so I can throw it in a particular deck. Because there's a deck that deals with Annihilator, and I'm thinking about annihilating people's lands in this particular deck because the win rate's very low in this deck. So I
Right.
think some would add to some spice.
For sure.
Right. But then for the more modern players and stuff, I built this little meme here. The turn 1 Thoughtseize feels like this scene of a missile being launched in salty fields. Yeah,
Nice.
like in Commander, turn 1 Thoughtseize is sometimes it's a big deal, sometimes it's not. But in Modern, it's more like a big deal because you got multiples of them.
Why is it that when I see this meme, my first thought process is I want to play tic-tac-toe against this computer?
Maybe the greatest game. Who knows?
Well,
I was really impressed with this prompt when I typed in a missile launch pad display came up pretty good.
yeah.
Very nice.
I made if anybody recognized the joke I made, they are just as old as I am.
That's true.
He's
Because just play tic-tac-toe against the computer, then you can stop a nuclear war.
Yep.
That's right. I don't remember the name of the movie, but I know it's about a couple kids who find the system, find the program into the system, and they end up saving the world. That whole deal.
And the movie was called Chat. Anybody? War Games.
War Games,
War
yeah.
Games.
Matthew Broderick and I don't remember who the girl was.
That's funny. Captain Waffles, turn 1 fetch land, shock land, cast Thoughtseize, lose 5 life, make opponent discard a card. Seems good. That's right. All right. Then the next picture of the day. This one I just fabricated because I really ran out of prompt ideas to come up with. So I'm like, your opponent who plays the biggest creature at the table. Yeah, control magic, mind control, corrupt conscious end. It says you who wants to play those lovely, let's supposed to say lovely, lowly creatures on the battlefield.
Yes, pure evil.
It's like you play that creature. No, I play that creature. No, you play that creature. I play that creature.
I'm gonna borrow it. That's all. I'm just borrowing it.
Right? Yeah.
You'll get your stuff back as you lose the game.
That's right. Right. But like when I first started playing Commander, control magic and mind control were my jam. Then I discovered corrupted conscience when it came out, and I'm like, that is my jam. Because if I'd build decks, and I'm like, I don't have the money to buy these big powerful creatures, that people are playing, and I'm like, you know what? For 50 cents, I can gain control of those powerful creatures.
Sharing's caring.
That's right. It says, what's yours is mine. What's mine is ours. You play a big 12-12 Eldrazi. No, I play a big 12-12 Eldrazi. The only thing unruly about Eldrazi and trying to control them is if they have a haste engine on the battlefield, you're competing with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. But remember, this is an actual picture of Tabal or Mad Saxon as he's brewing up a deck. He's pouring salt into magic cards and adding the salt flavor consistency, like more saltier than the Great Salt Lake. Kind of.
Indeed.
All right. Just want to remind you. But all right. But with that, my friend, I digress a little. I need to push forward because I want to start this topic with Matt Saxon here.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe.
Moves, the strategies, and the flares. Super fast tortoise is running the show. The crowd goes wild wherever he goes.
All right. I see the pictures, the Bob Ross pictures. All right, so need to get into the topic of the day. The topic is questions people have about Magic the Gathering deck building. If you have questions in the chat, ask us, but we're going to talk about deck building. People are always asking me about questions about how I build a commander deck or build a commander deck, and it's always someone here or there. And sometimes they ask ridiculous questions like there's a single answer for multiple choice. People are asking how to build them. For example, what is a simple process? Not all times there is a simple process. Some questions can't be answered one way. Some answers will depend on the build of the deck, the colors of the deck, your familiarities to the color pie, and sometimes it takes the ability to search for cards. Where can you search for cards? You can go to kjcowboydan.com, The Gatherer, or thegatherer.wizards.com. And one thing that helps me figure out deck building is deck building itself. And I go to architect.com. And there's links to these websites in the chat. There's Moxfield that people like to use, and they kind of separate your deck into themes so you can kind of see where you're going through. But anyways, first of all, let me open the floor with this question. What's the one question people ask you? Like, literally, what is the one question people ask you the most about deck building that you're like, well, there's not a clear answer on?
Where to start?
Right.
Where to start with the deck? That's what I get first of all, and usually it's start with a precon and upgrade it. But somebody will say, "But I want to build a deck." So then I turn them over to my wife. But no, what I've done recently is started talking to people about the experience they want to have. More than a commander, more than anything else. Like, what kind of experience do you want to have? What do you want to play? And start from there.
Captain Waffles. Number one question I get: should I play this card? I don't know. Yeah, that's a good one. EDH Rec is good. Yeah. I mean, we all most of us here build decks, and like Hillbilly's learning from me how to build a deck, and other people. Like, he'll ask me, and sometimes off alive we'll be in on here on a StreamYard, but off live, and we'll be going through cards, and I'd be helping him build a deck or make decisions on deck. Hence why I told him to add more removal in his deck. I'll be like, add this card. But some people come up to you and they're literally like, the one question I get the most, and it's probably because I boast about my 5-color decks, right? Well, my 5-color deck, I should say. The one question I've gotten the most that's like impossible to answer without looking at a deck list is what's the perfect mana for a 5-color deck? Like, what's the perfect mana base, right? And I could tell you honestly, there's no perfect answer because I don't see your deck. I asked one dude about I asked one dude to give me a deck list one day about a 5-color deck I can help him out with a 5-color deck basis. He sends me links to 3 different decks.
Wow.
I'm like, but that's 3 different decks. That's 3 different mana bases. So I'm like, I don't know what you really want. Do you want me to tell you to run Triumphs so you have an excuse to buy Triumphs? Want Tri-Lands to have an excuse to buy Tri-Lands? I mean, slow mana for 5-color decks is the way to go, especially with the Triumphs and Tri-Lands. But based on your early game color, and that's what I told people during my deck process. When I look at a deck, I don't look at the color pie first. I look at the colors of my one and 2 drops or my early game drops. I like how many early game drops am I going to care about? I want that land in my hand. Then I look at my win con and my high CMC, and I look at what I need to get to, and I'm like, that's my main goal, is to get to those high end spells. And I'm like, Well, those are the two colors I focus on in a 3-color deck. Even in a 5-color deck, those are what I focus on, and I make my fixing for everything else. Like everything in between, because those are the things that are going to get me in between all those 3. I just want to make sure I have my early game and late game ramp, because sometimes it's easier to get to 6 lands and your big spells by playing the game than ramping, because sometimes ramp just never shows up.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And this kind of addresses what Captain Waffles was saying too about people asking, like, is this card good? The most important thing is, do you have cards that support it? Because one card in your deck arguably isn't going to make that much of a difference. It's whether it works in combination or in concert with the other cards that are in your deck, because your chance of drawing that one card are pretty slim. You can do it over time, and is it going to impact the game that much? A better idea is, will this fit in with other cards that do the same or similar thing? The same thing applies to land. Is it better to put in, ideally, if you have the money, it's definitely good to spend the money for the mana base where the lands don't come in tapped, but sometimes you don't have the budget for that. So do you have the dual lands that have dual names on them? Mm-hmm. Even if they come in tapped, you can still search them. So do you have other pieces of ramp that will get you what you need also?
Hillbilly says the question I always have is how do you decide what to cut from a deck? My answer is always is if a card you have that you want to put in is doing something better than a card that never wants to be played, meaning like you'll sometimes sit there with a card in your hand, never a perfect time to play it, cut that card. But to add to what Tabal was saying, when I'm talking to people and I always tell people to put like an excessive amount of board wipes in their deck. No, I'm kidding. I tell people to put when I tell people to put removal cards in their deck and whatnot, and if they want to add more, or if they can take a removal slot and add a removal piece that fits a theme or synergy that your deck is doing, it is always better to put that in your deck if it fits a theme or deck. Because like one card that rocks in an older deck I have on Arena is Chupacabra.
Chupacabra.
Yeah. The creature, that 4-mana creature that enters the battlefield, destroys a creature. And I run that in a Muldrotha deck, and that's very synergetic because I can keep casting from the graveyard. It dies. It's a blocker. It fits a theme. It fits a rational thought process.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's strange that I feel like I have to defend myself sometimes when people are asking me questions, because like people ask me questions like I know everything deck building. Well, no, not everybody knows everything deck building. I'm good at building the decks I know. In fact, if you look at most of my decks, you'll notice other than I have some Naya decks that are not perfect, I have a strong sense of Simic and Bant, or Simic and Teamer. Simic is kind of like my color pair that I'm very familiar with. But when it comes to like red ramp, I have to literally go to EDH and look that stuff up.
Another thing I think is the idea that I have a lot of times, because people will see my deck list and go like, what is this? What are you doing? What is if you get in a position where you feel like you have to defend yourself, the idea often in my case is it's tuned for my meta. It's tuned for the people that I play with, the pods that I go to, or the shops where I play. I can get away playing, this XYZ card, whatever it is, because, it's what works where I'm at. Right. I think that the more you play with more people, we play on Spell Table, you get exposed to a larger variety of people, you'll find better ways to play your deck. A couple of things, what to cut. The first thing I look at is what's the CMC. Anything with a high CMC, try to lower it. The other thing is modal spells. If there's something that has multi-purpose, do you have something that you could replace with something that does 2 or 3 different things? If you could do that, then I think you're making an improvement to your deck.
Right. Oh yeah, no doubt. Because I like some of the classic spells. I love ones that give you multiple options, like destroy target artifact or destroy target creature, destroy target enchantment or destroy target creature, destroy target planeswalker or destroy target creature, exile the ball from the game.
Like sanguinate.
And-
I hate taking that segue, but I'm going to have to bounce. I
Right.
obviously would love to stay here and talk with you guys for the rest of the day and probably bore you to death, but I'll try not to. I got to bounce. I thank you so much for having me, and I'll be joining you again soon when I can.
All right. See you soon.
All right,
Have a
take
good
care.
one. Bye-bye. Well, I was just about to ask, turn the attention to Backwoods Collector to see if you have any thoughts.
I've always believed there's like two routes to deck building
Mm.
when you initially start it, and it's the first one would be like, okay, I want the deck to do this. This is
Right.
this is what I want the deck to do, with being one of them, and then the other side is I want this as the commander. Because
Right.
sometimes if you go, and some people will call it, method 1 and method 2, and then they switch it in their mind. But I think there is those two methods, where if you're like, I want the deck to do this, that maybe determines what commander you're going to use.
Right.
But then if you go the other method and you're like, I want this as the commander, and then build around that commander, it's just a different route of getting the cards that are supposed to be in there.
Mhm.
I'm much more, I pick the commander because I like the theme. I build more on theme than anything.
Right.
I like the commander, so I usually 99% of the time I'll start with the commander and then build around it.
Right.
I very rarely ever go and say, I want a deck that does this.
Right. Right. Like when I build a deck, I kind of follow the same process you're talking about. Like if I have a commander that has a theme to it, my first initiate would be to look for win conditions or cards that help me win with that same commander theme, if possible. Or if the commander is built different, like he is the win con, like my Rafika the Mini is the win con. Like most people build the deck where Rafika the Mini is a creature they build up for a win con. The way I worked around him to make it aggressive is I said, well, if I had a small creature on the battlefield, which is one thing I looked for, especially with Infect, I'm like, if I had a small creature, build it up so it can hit 10 damage by turn 4, which is crazy to think about. I could win the game. So Rafika the Mini became the win con of the deck, like most cases. But like when I look at a commander like Nekasar, I try to think of win cons that are like, well, how do I stack this up? Because there's two ways to me to build a deck. Either you have a hard-hitting win con that wins you the game right away, or you have one that speeds up the process but it has to play through like Nekasar. Because Nekasar, you get all this stuff in your hand that says everybody draws cards, everybody loses life when they draw cards, and you're trying to make big plays out of that, which why Windfall is amazing in that deck.
I think another interesting question is, how do people like to go about the process physically?
Right.
Do you like to do it on screen in front of you through the websites that you were talking about and stuff? I mean, I like Moxfield and I like EDH Rec. I also like Scryfall a lot.
Huh?
But like from a physical side, I actually have a big whiteboard here in the office on a wall that you never see. And it's big enough for me to actually like put cards on the whiteboard. So I have probably a box of magnets, and I
Yeah.
can actually just physically build, because I like to then step back at it and look, because I can see the land count hanging on the wall.
Wow, that's crazy. So, in that realm of things, when I'm building a deck, I'll get all the cards together that I want. Because, like, when I build a deck, first thing I get a stack of cards that's god awfully larger than the deck itself, right? Then I go through all that trash, because what I do is I look for cards in the color, and hopefully I find removal spells and stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is the cards I got. Now, how do I get that many cards out of the deck? Then once I get the 99 in there, I organize it on the table in front of me from mana curve 1 to, the biggest amount. then I try to look at the mana curve and ask myself the question: is there follow through? Like, is there a turn one play? Most likely, there's not a turn one play. Soul Ring might be in your deck, but you're not going to guarantee that every turn one. Turn two, is there a guaranteed turn two play? 50% chance there is, 50% chance there's not. Turn three and turn four are your most average plays for big plays in a meta deck in a meta game. And then you look at that and you're like, okay, by turn four, I should have this kind of play out like some 4-drop, because usually you have more 3 and 4 drops than you do 2 and 1 drops. Then I look at that line and I look at how it fluctuates through the mana curve of my deck to get an average of what spells I'm casting. Because if I have a deck that has a bunch of 6 drops, I'm playing 1 spell per turn for a long time once I hit 6 mana. So I try to adjust things. That's why when I look at these things, I look at the kind of draw spells or removals I have, because I want to know what they're going to fit in. Most removal spells cost 3 CMC or less, sometimes more. But the 3 CMC or less is where you should be at most times. Then your draw spells should cost 2 to 3 mana. So, between 4 and 2 mana values, that's where your mana curve should be for drawing cards in most cases. I mean, that's how I look at it, and I'm like, well, what am I doing more? Do I have too much draw in my hand? Am I drawing more cards than I'm playing a game, or am I playing a game? And I adjust those factors based off the mana curve.
Well,
Sorry,
and I think you and I are probably doing the same thing. I just do it physically probably different, because like one thing I'll do with, I guess I call it my building board, is once all 99 cards are up there,
right,
what I'll do, and not in a particular order or anything, but I'll group them all into the type of card. Then I'll see what it looks like with all. There'll be or maybe a row of creatures, and then instants, and then enchantments and stuff like that. And I'll see what it physically, as I step back and look at it, see what it physically looks like, stepping back. And then after I get that sense, I'll change the groupings to mana cost and see what the mana curve actually looks like physically. Like I said, I think it's just a physical way that I like to do it.
No, it's a good way to do it. My only thought is not everybody has a whiteboard,
Well, yeah, and like I said, it's you got to have a pretty decent sized whiteboard to get 99 cards up on it.
Right, but
and you need 99 magnets.
Right, and that like what I do is the same kind of thing, just on a table.
Yeah, it is. It's just, to me, it just spreads it out a little bit more in a 30,000-foot view.
Mm-hmm. And just to be clear on something for the viewer, when I do a mana curve, I do count how many 1 and 2 drops I have compared to the rest of my deck to see how many times I'm going to see it, because you might have like 10 1-drops, 10 2-drops, and you have like 14 of every color. That's just an example number. I'll start averaging out the deck to see what I'm going to get before I start playing the deck. Then I start play testing the deck afterwards to see if there's any tweaks, because there's some things I need for a deck I'm building that fits in the mana curve. But it's always good to know what you're going to have early game. I mean, last night this guy had the dream build. Like, he didn't win the game. He could have if he got like all the banger cards. He had the dream game where turn 1 he played 5 different mana rocks. That was insanity. Magnets, how do they work? It's a miracle, Captain Waffles.
The mana rocks. Mana rock. I was thinking about an infinity stone of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
One of the unlisted.
Yeah, infinity stones are pretty cool. Like when they do Marvel, they should make the infinity stone moxes or something. But anyways, but thinking about good things and deck building, let's lighten the mood a little. KJ, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing very well. I'm excited about a few things that's in the works, but
Yeah.
I'm doing very well. It's a nice rainy day here in rainy Arkansas.
Rainy Arkansas. What's up? Be awesome. Be cool. You know what I'm saying? It's raining outside. You can go out there and let a cat get in the rain. And no, I'm kidding. Don't put the cats in the rain. The cats from the rain. Speaking of cats, how are you cats doing today, Cowboy?
No, they're doing pretty good. They're doing pretty good. We got Q's being a demon. 7 is being 7, and we're doing pretty good. We're excited.
good.
We're having a good
Nice.
day.
That's pretty awesome. Well, I'm glad. Yeah. You know, I always joke to my wife that I'm going to infuse the carpet in our house with catnip so the cats go crazy all over the carpet.
We don't have carpet. We have hardwood floors, so when it's zoomy time, it's also time for a cat that doesn't know how to stop to hit a wall.
They're skating on wood because their pads don't stop them very well on wood. That's funny. Right. Back on topic a little more. I just want to take a little breathing or break so my brain could think.
Cats always help the brain.
That's right. That's right. So, is there a specific type of thing you do backwoods when you're building decks that people ask you about?
No, probably really not. Like I said, I mean, I build in such a certain method because I'm usually picking the commander, and then I'm choosing to build around the commander because I like the commander's theme or I like the commander's art or something like that. You know, I'm not usually. I guess I'm not usually building decks that are really, you want to call it optimized. I mean, I don't
Right.
really, you know, care if I win so much. You know, even though our play group really, you know, we don't, I guess, have any rule zero talks or anything. We just all know in our play group that somebody could show up with a deck that's going to pub stomp us.
Right. Pub stomp.
But then we're fine with it, you know, as a play group because we've already kind of set the rule, I guess the house rule of the play group that, you know what, if you want to build a level 12 deck and you can afford to do it, go ahead and do it. And then the rest of us will just try to figure out a way to build a deck that, you know, will maybe have a chance against it.
Well, your play group's very kind of a secluded thing too, because you guys play with each other most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, nobody in the play group typically plays with anybody else.
Yeah, it's like your personal clubhouse.
It is. I mean, and we get together and say, hey, do we want to let this person play with us for, you know, a night or two or?
Yeah, well, I get it. You know, to be honest with you, when we get in our old ages, we kind of accept less people in our lives.
Well, and that, you know, and I've always said, you know, there's none of us in the play group. Well, I shouldn't say none of us, but I mean, me for sure. I'm not the Friday Night Magic type of guy, you know, to do the store Friday Night Magic.
Right. Oh, neither is my wife. She started playing Magic and started getting heavy into Standard, and she didn't realize how lying and competitive people can be in a game of Magic. You know, and so the whole F&M thing turned her off when someone lied to her about her rulings, and I answered her question correctly, but I got confused because I was in the middle of a game. That she lost a game, even though because of a ruling thing that someone lied to her about. And it was an instant and a trigger and an instant thing. Like someone was casting an instant to get rid of a creature, but she had a response, and they told her the response wouldn't happen because this card was instant. And I'm like, when I had the brain to think about everything, she should have won.
You know, and the one thing that I guess I like about playing in kind of a closed off play group and not doing the Friday Night Magic thing is a lot of times games essentially maybe go a little quicker because you've seen the other three's decks before, so it's not like you're always having to stop and be like, "What is that card doing now?"
Mhm.
You know, because you already know what it does because you've probably seen it before.
Right. I mean, Captain Waffle says he plays against anyone. That's true. I see him go down the street and hand decks to homeless people and say, "Play me, play against me, see if you can beat me. I'll give you $1 if you win." That's right. I thought that was funny.
I mean, that, like Captain Waffle's playing with everyone. That's better for the hobby and better for the game than, you know, because essentially our group ain't adding anything to the community.
Well, that's not true because you take your experiences every once in a while, like when you're on the show and you talk about it. And you talk about things you do, like today's topic, questions people have about MTG deck building. Sometimes you might even have a question you ask someone, you know.
I'm still
buy
asking
product
people all the time.
You buy product, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, you're helping the community in different ways. You interact your own way, and that's fine.
I mean, it's a completely different discussion, but I mean, I'm buying less product now.
Right.
But like I said, that's a whole nother topic.
That is a whole nother topic, but you're still buying product. You're still buying the things that you like, which is the way you should do it, is buy the things you like.
I mean, the one thing that the whole state of Magic has done now to me as a collector is I'm buying many more singles. Just because the sets are not to the point where I enjoy cracking as much.
Right. Yeah, singles is the way to go most of the time. Like a single I need to get still is a Bloodthirsty Conqueror for a deck. And I only mention that because it's an expensive, it's a $20 single. But like it's one of the few cards I want from the set. You know what I'm saying? They're making a lot of jank sets nowadays. And part of this, like what makes a jank set is once you played the game enough and you played the Powerhouses games, when you're deck building enough, you realize when a card is not going to hold up in your favorite format and it's just no good except in limited. So when I say a jank set, that doesn't mean that the whole set's jank. It's just outside of limited, it's usually not that amazing. I mean, one set that people are trashing on right now is Aether Drift.
Yeah, and I'm an Aether Drift trasher. I kid you not, I have not spent a dime on that set.
Same here.
I've not bought a pack of it.
Same here. Well, I like if I could have bought a pack, which I probably could have. Aether Drift speaks nothing to me. There's 2 singles I want from the deck, or from the set, and that's because they're dinosaurs.
I guess I don't get bent out of shape about these times in the sets rolling around, because it allows me to do other things. Like I said, my funds now are going maybe more towards singles.
Right.
Or I'm actually probably putting more money towards some of my other collectibles now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going, I'll spend more on comics. I'll spend more on coins and stuff like that. You know, so when Magic hits these windows of me just not liking what's coming out, I drift to my other collectibles.
Oh yeah, and you know what? We all have different collectibles. Magic's not the only thing we do, but I can be in agreement. Everybody here who plays Magic loves Magic. We don't love the company. We love the game, and you know, we learn to interact as we get older different ways. Like, trust me, and I say older because the older you get, and the more you see Magic as people see it and do it, you kind of interact with the ways you want to. Especially when you're like me, who has literally half this chest size right here to store all their Magic stuff. You can't just have it all. You know, you get picky. And that's literally a toy chest where half of it is filled with my Magic decks and stuff. You know? Because, like, I mean, we're young. We kind of buy everything and don't think about where we're going to put stuff. But when we get older, we're like, well, if we're going to keep a cleaner house, neater house, and storage space. I mean, I'd feel ridiculous if my shed was filled with Magic cards. I'm not that kind of collector. I love playing the game. I mean,
I'm even slowly growing out of my den office down here in the house and stuff. I mean, between Magic cards and coins, and and anybody who knows me knows that I'm not just into Magic as the cardboard is concerned. I'm into a bunch of other TCGs, maybe not as a player, but as a collector.
Right. Well, that makes it interesting, right? And look, don't put all your eggs in one basket, kind of thing.
Well, it's also just easy when you are a collector. I mean, it's in the name. It's easy when you're a collector to take up space. I mean, just even me with my comic books. I mean, those 300 count long boxes take up a lot of space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of retail or real estate in comic books.
They take up space, and like comic books are like, I mean, like if you're trying to collect a specific line, or say even if you're something simple, like say I only read, say for example, Spider-Man, and so you're only buying lines that carry Spider-Man, that have Spider-Man, so you're only buying those lines, and even then, and okay, you're gonna put them. Comic books aren't something you put in a bookshelf unless you're getting graphic novels. So they're hard to store. So you got to bag them, board them, just like you would your trading cards. And you put them in this 300 count box, or even 100 count box, which still takes up a lot of space, even more if you go in 100 count boxes. And you buy once a month, like I do, in bulk. You take us up a lot of space.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
any hobby take up space of some sort, which I think if Backwoods ever did, like he could make his own video of some sort talking about some of the ways he stores things and what he stores them in and why he trusts something like that. Because like me, I just put my cards in sleeves, and that's it. Dragon Shield sleeves, sponsor me, Dragon Shield. But like, oh yeah. But like when you're someone who like buying cards, like I have binders, but those are for trades. I don't like store them. I don't have like a particular binder. All my binders are probably different makes. But like when you're storing stuff, you're trusting different things. Like coins, I know I have those cases you put your coins in and stuff. I think that's an interesting thing that probably doesn't have a lot of coverage on YouTube. That could probably spike you up. Spike up in views when people are searching for something. When he's like the best coin cover in the market or best comic book things in the world. I don't know, whatever you collect all together. I mean, come on, you collect old-fashioned guns, just a few of them at least that I know of. That's interesting.
Well, yeah, what's hanging on the wall is just a small portion of it.
Right. And how you treat them, take care of them. That's interesting. You got a hobby of a plethora of collections, which is kind of like KJ. KJ is a connoisseur of collecting everything but nothing complete.
Right. Well, I collect things that are interested to me. Like like you see that one person, maybe that one person buys every trinket that they see that has a little tiny dancing bear.
Right.
Me, I have the trinkets that remind me of certain IPs from my childhood, being comic books, trading cards, plastic toys.
But because I'm in so many things, like I said, it goes back to I'm fine with like my downturn in interest in Magic if it happens that way, because then I just focus on my coins or stuff like that.
Right. We know people who focus on jewels and things like that, like rocks, colorful rocks and stuff. What? Keep your secrets to Jar's Whispers. Jar Whispers. Yeah.
Yes.
He's talking about you, KJ.
Yes, I have my secrets in my jar.
That's right.
But I tried whispering. Nobody can hear when I whisper because it just hits the glass and well.
Well, the best thing about being a head in a jar is you don't have to worry about fart bubbles.
I call it a jacuzzi.
That's funny. That's funny. But anyways, yeah, like It's interesting that I know that the topic is turned from what we was talking about to the collectibles, but the collectibles is such an interesting aspect because like we all have different collectibles. Like those are the only turtles I own really that are complete. I got a couple figures randomly. I got Transformers there, but I got drawers for it. I got 2 full drawers in my bedroom. So if I swap them out, and when I move to my office, whenever that happens, I'm going to change that out and do more with that. But we have our collectibles. We love them for different reasons. Like the other day, we were having a conversation about collecting because you love to collect the things you do, not collecting just because of monetary value all the time. Because some people like to turn their stuff into investment. Sometimes people are like, I collect things for the monetary value, which is fine. But what's the point of collecting something for a monetary value if you don't have a passion for it?
Well, I've said before too. I mean, some of my favorite Magic cards
Mm.
I've collected and that like I essentially chase out of certain sets as a new set comes out.
Huh?
It could be a 5-cent card,
Yeah.
but
That's-
it's an art that grabbed me or something, and so it's like I want that card, you
yeah.
know. So I maybe have more cheap chases in a set than the true chase cards of the set.
Right. Right. And sometimes it's a cheaper card. One of my favorite cards of all time is like a 50-cent card, and it's unexpected results. And it can pull off a $20 card if you're lucky, That's how
I mean,
it works.
as a Gisa collector, I'm buying every Gisa card that I can find, essentially, which is
Right.
ridiculous, but it's just something that I like to chase.
Right. Look, it makes sense. If you like it, you like it. It's simple as that. No complications needed. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Now, when kjcowboydan finally pays the bill, you'll have all the geeses in the world. He just looks stumped. He's
I understood the statement, but in my head, visual image of geese and not Giza.
Oh,
a geese. But anyways, my brain just stopped for a second.
Yeah, it broke me too.
All right, let's get here.
Hit that subscribe button. Become a part of the crew.
Too much to take. Show is lit. MTG 3, are you game? Rise, creep, rise, building a following as we game. Spitting fire like a dragon, no one can bring us down. MTG 3 in the house, we own this town. Ripping through the beats with a fury.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hi. You guys are looking pretty good, pretty handsome. 5 o'clock shadow, maybe.
yeah, it's coming back. I usually shave, I don't know, once a week or so.
5 o'clock shadow, it's noon.
That's a turnover rate. But anyways, it's time to calm down, relax, chillax, get to the show section of the show because it's time to chill off the thing, chill off the stuff. Time to talk about your channels, everything you want. And we're going to start with the Backwoods Collector because he's the newest guy to the show today.
Oh, well, you never know when I'm going to be on and stuff because I'm doing mostly like jump on hot live hangouts and stuff. I'm thinking about maybe doing it tonight. I got a bunch of TCG player mail to open and stuff, so we'll probably go through some of that if I can get on tonight. But typically, you just got to catch me live at some point. Sometimes it'll be at night in what'll be called After Dark in the Backwoods, and sometimes it'll be sometime in the morning, which will be a different title. I just don't use the same one. So, but I'm thinking about maybe tonight.
No, sound like you're just going to say more.
Nope, that was it.
That was it. All right. Now we're going to go to KJ Cowboy Dan.
Hey, howdy, hey, boys and girls. So, we got a lot going on. Monday, Procrasticraft with Jesse Hellwheeler, myself, Kaz, Room Temps, and Decaying Hydra, and the boys. Join us Mondays for a little Procrasticraft. Also, Wednesdays, Procrastinating Across the Ocean, 6 Central, with Jesse Hellwheeler and myself. This week's topic is a good one. We also got next week's topic all set up too. It's gonna be great. Jesse's gonna be reading to us next week. We're looking forward to that. Also, Thursdays, as usual, I'm over at DJ Longhair's MTG Roundtable. I am here 5 days a week now. Pretty much as I announced the other day, I'm not going to be here on Fridays, but I will be here the rest of the week. So you didn't get rid of me that easily. I know you guys are having a party in chat, but I'm going to still be here. I'm just going to be doing something special on Fridays. And hopefully you'll be able to see it real soon. Only a few people here know exactly what's going on. And a few people here have an idea, and it's going to be fun. We're calling it, we're not going to tell you what we're calling it.
All I know, everybody, is it involves a weed eater, whipped cream, and a live chicken.
Yeah, that might be too much information there.
Might have to order KFC instead, though. I can't get the permit for the chicken.
All right. Anything you want to show really quick?
Well, I'm trying to get back to streaming, but with this cold and everything, me hardly being able to talk, I'm unable to stream. But I am getting better because at least I am getting my voice back.
Mm-hmm.
Able to actually talk now.
That's pretty good.
But I'm still not 100%. Y'all know that, the people that has watched me. No, I don't usually sound like this. That's one reason why I got my camera off.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, as soon as I get better, I'll be back streaming 2 times a day and playing Commander. Man, I do miss playing Commander.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I have to say right now is I can't stream until I get better.
Well, don't forget to subscribe to all these fine people. All these fine people. The links are in chat. And, click on the links. Like Backwoods Collector says, he never knows when he's going to go live. So hit that link. Subscribe. Hit that bell. So when he does go live, you're notified. And he can hop on over there. Same with KJ. He never knows when he goes live. Sometimes he's live on someone else's stream. Sometimes he's live on his own stream. Sometimes he uploads a video just for the fun of it. Hit that bell so you're notified when he does. Hillbilly. Hit that subscribe button over there. And while you're at it, hit the subscribe button over here if you're not subscribed. They're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers here on Superfast Tortoise. And once we reach 1,000 subscribers on Superfast Tortoise, we'll be doing a giveaway in the United States for a Commander deck, playmat, maybe a coffee mug. Who knows? How crazy we'll go with it. Check it out. And I want to remind everybody that you are awesome and you're amazing. I want to thank everybody for being here today. KJ, Backwoods, and Hillbilly. Everybody in chat, you rock, you rule. I want to remind you that you are loved. Someone's thinking about you. And if you can, brighten someone's day up. Make them smile a little. Let them know that they're appreciated. Because you know what? You might be the change someone needs today. And with that, my friends, have a wonderful day. I totally want to thank you for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. 100%. Like this video as if it's your favorite kind of pizza, dude. And if you wouldn't mind, consider smashing that subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications. Every one of these things you do helps the channel out a lot.
The moves, the strategies, and the flair. Super fast tortoise is running the show. The crowd goes wild wherever he goes. Shall shock, go the tortoise way. He's the one to watch, the king of MTG play.